Alright, here we are with another gameplay analysis for our homie Sea Dog. So there's actually two games in here, but I'm just gonna go over one of them or split up the videos. See if we can skip here. Again, this is an unranked game, below level 10, I believe. I don't know his actual level, but everyone in this game should be below level 18, so no keystones yet. And see, when you get to a point when you're level 18 and you get unlocked a keystone, holy moly, you are gonna recognize a big difference in uh, how these masteries will actually impact your gameplay. Give me one moment here. I'll kind of fast forward into the game. I'm just preparing a drink here, caffeinated drink. I actually have one video done, but I can't upload it yet because my internet's down. So I figured, hey, why not? Let's go ahead and get another, knock out another review. Okay. Go, you're buying items. Um, so typically you always start with a long sword and available potion. I'm gonna try to be a little more, I guess, add a little more to what I was doing before in terms of gameplay knowledge. So typically the usual start for Shyvana can range from, and this is doable too. People will try to argue item builds with you, and they'll rag on you, but the fact of the matter is, if you have a certain playstyle, that playstyle will dictate what items you build. If you can make that playstyle work and you get good at it, you can literally play one character one way, and you can actually get to a pretty high rank in the game. That's called one trick pony, one trick ponying. Um, and so if you understand your character so well that you can actually run a certain setup that is not optimal for professional competitive play, which a lot of guides are actually based on, because people will, big fanboys will watch their favorite players, they will come and they'll build spec according to how their favorite players build, and garner success from it, and then they'll think that that is the best and most optimal build. The fact of the matter is what works. Solo queue, ranking outside of professional play, anything outside of professional play is essentially a totally different game. Totally different game. And we can talk about that topic later. But let's go ahead and get into this. I'm not going to harp you or talk about your item build currently, but you just want to be mindful of how you want to build into the game. You're relatively new now. Once you understand the game a little better, you will actually take into account, what your team's composition is. How can you better facilitate them? You need to take into account your trust in other players. If you whether you want to trust them or not. If you take on a more of a carry role, you might want to go offensive. You want to dominate your lane and kind of roll over your lane opponent and kind of bleed over into the other lanes and take over. If you want to be more, if that's the plan, or you fall behind, like you get stomped in your lane and you're still trying to remain viable, then you might want to build tanky, because when you build defensive, it is far easier to play that role of protecting someone else on your team who's gotten to a point where they're super strong. In this game, it might be Lux, it might be Kha'Zix, it might be one of these guys, but when you're a beefy tank, if you are behind, no matter how many times you died, you've got the items to be relatively tanky. You can be that person who soaks damage for her, so that once you keep Lux alive longer, she's able to pump out more and more damage, and she'd be kind of your ticket to winning the game. Or maybe these two. Sometimes it's everyone else but you. Sometimes it's one prime VIP you're protecting. Sometimes it's two. That's where the decision making comes into play. League is a very mindful game. It can be very basic, and depending on the rank and the way you like to play, it could become very complex or very simple. It just depends on how good you want to get at the game. At every level, there is another layer to unfold, and when you unfold that layer, the game becomes different in another aspect, and it actually becomes more enjoyable. It could also become more stressful too if you are very competitive and you're, like me. And I feel like most players that go on tilt can get to the point where it gets frustrating, because you can understand and see all these things that other players may or may not see, and It sometimes feels like they're keeping you down, but the only thing you can change is yourself. Get better at that, and you can actually win more games and influence the games better. So one big thing here is positioning, right? There's one ranged caster who can, if they play right aggressively, and do all this damage, but you're gonna die here. Yep. So you died because of mispositioning, horrible positioning. You're fighting in a big minion wave. Like this was okay until these guys showed up, and you can actually run up. Given how experienced these players are, you can actually run up with your W and just burn them. But you don't want to auto attack them. The moment you auto attack, these minions will draw aggression towards you. Like they will all focus on you, especially because you are all the way up front past your minion line, right? Again, quick rule of thumb: when you're under this tower, so the range is about here. I'm not 100% sure, but I would say actually it's like a little sphere from here to there. Hence this kind of little indicator. When you're in this range, if you cast a spell, if you in any way, form, or shape do any damage to an enemy champion under the tower will automatically refocus on you if there are minions. So if you have minions in the tower normally focuses and prioritizes other minions. They don't just automatically default to you. That's 100% true. The second 100% fact is that when you do any damage, whether it's poison damage, some champions will have the ability to reflect damage back on people. If someone attacks you, you reflect that damage back. Tower will focus on you. You say you apply a spell that does damage over time. You could apply it to them as they run into tower range, and as you run into tower range with minions there, the next tick of damage will draw tower aggression towards you. And auto attacks will also draw aggression towards you, like the tower will focus you. In minions, you can use spells. You can use spells that damage the enemy champion, and they will not focus you unless you were the only target in range, or if you auto attack them. If you auto attack means right click a basic attack, whether it's a melee or a ranged, minions will focus on you if you are within range. So big thing to know. And this is what you did. You would have been able to get away with this, right? Well, you can get away with it this time in this game with these bad players. Sorry, not bad players, inexperienced players, right? Because they wouldn't punish you. In a normal game where people actually know their champions and know the game, so I want to say like silver and above, gold and above, these two will automatically jump on you right now. Rengar, he might have taken E, but they would have been able to lock you in place right after you melee Annie. All these minions would kill you. They would maybe only have to drop 2 spells each. I mean, they're both level 2. And then as you were running out, you'd be dead. So what happens? Okay, that Rengar lands 1 empowered auto attack. I think Annie lands some spells too. Minions are all focusing you. And Rengar actually misses his bola. But if he had landed that bola, you would have been dead for sure anyways. But yeah, I mean, that's all it took to kill you. And the only reason you really died, honestly, was because you auto attacked Annie. Otherwise, I would have said I would have been sure you would have been able to get out in this context. Another thing was Kha'Zix was back here. You had no business being up here past your minion line. Basically, at this point, it was a 3 versus 1 with you might as well have considered Kha'Zix not even in the fight entering. So the fight was over before even there was a fight. He almost got Kha'Zix killed too. Luckily, he wasn't inexperienced. I think he actually gets a kill up here. But hey, look, right? Inexperienced players. That's you can get away with that. But you don't want to put yourself in a position to abuse that, because you'll hit a cap, and when you come against good players, you will suffer. Okay. So here you just want to farm better. I know it's easier said than done, but over time, just put an emphasis on getting last hits. So when you get a last hit right here, see how you got gold, right? You got gold. So the tower kills it. You still get the experience because you're in range, right? You're still adding to that. But when you got that last hit, you get gold. You don't get gold when you normally. So here's another thing too. So at higher level play, I want you to notice that there's a ward back here, right? I think Kha'Zix did that. That's very smart because he actually intends to make what we call a teleport play. In one of my other videos, I told you, right? These two summers, they're called summer spells. They are essentially a get out jail free card, or um, I would say a second ultimate in some ways, because it's such a powerful utility tool that it will, if you use it right and as it should be used, it will get you a kill or save you, right? So after this, Kha'Zix is thinking ahead. I'm pretty sure Kha'Zix is a pretty he's not a new player because he's demonstrating well thought out, well planned out play. He's able to abuse these players because they don't know how to play appropriately. But so let's see if I can skip this. All right, so he's got a kill, and there's a ward there. He realizes this, and look at the way the wave is kind of set up, right? So that's probably you actually, Sea Dog. But anyways, he doesn't touch the wave. He might have started on it, but he realizes when the wave gets here that this wave is probably gonna push back, or that inexperienced players will push it out. So he kind of leaves that opportunity up. Um, and he has the intent. I can tell, or I would have the intent, but I can tell that he probably has the intent to teleport behind this ward when this wave is pushed up here. So if you knew this, you as a player trying to get better, right? You want to be able to notice these things. This may not always happen because sometimes players don't do those plays when to you. When it's obviously a bad play, but sometimes, sorry, obviously a good play, but sometimes players won't go through with it. But um, just realize that that is a possibility. And so this is what happens here. You go up to the tower, right? I hate how I keep doing this. Um, so so as you're going back to the tower, look, right here, the wave pushes through. I'm not sure how it got there. Maybe it was Annie, or maybe it was Kha'Zix setting up the wave well. But look at he's back in base. He backs as he sets up the wave, and now Annie is pushed up. We don't know Rengar is, so this would be why it would be a risky play. But because it's so far out, you're not seeing Rengar, right? Does he? So this is where he plans to teleport in. So you as a, and I think he actually plays it really well because he's running back. Look at this. He doesn't teleport in immediately. He's still paying attention, or I would be. A good player would be, and he's letting you get this farm. He's not making you commit to something and lose this farm in committing to it. He's waiting for all these farm minions to go, and this is really cool because there's being a new player and unseasoned, there's so much that you're missing out, so much micromanagement. To you, you might just ran back into the lane and killed some minions. That's all you saw. But all that forethought, all that extra planning that I talked to you about, a player would have that down. It would be second nature. They wouldn't need to think about it. Those small nuances give you a huge, huge, huge advantage in the game. So let's see how this kind of unfolds, right? So he's TPing in. You should be going in right now, right? Or again, in a well coordinated play, you would be going in right now as these towers are finishing off. Because even if you go here, by the time these minions die, you'll still get the experience. But if you play well, you can still push it out and still get that farm. And so if you got in range, if you dropped exhaust, Annie would have been dead. She doesn't have flash. She could maybe stun you, but the time spent dealing with you will finish Kha'Zix's TP, and he'll get in and deal a crap ton of damage. So let's see here. She sees a teleport coming and she's running. You don't even know it's happening. You're still here farming. He completes his TP, right? So that was a free kill. That was gone. So Kha'Zix burned his teleport to try and make a play happen, but you weren't there to facilitate it. You could argue bad or good for either player, right? But as a team, that was a waste. That could have been good, but it was a lost opportunity. So now you got two in lane. Something else that you may not think about would be you have an advantage here. You might actually not want to push out to this lane. You might want to keep the wave here because you're in a safe territory and actually let Kha'Zix jump in the bush. Because Annie's here, she's throwing spells at you, slinging crap at you, auto attacking you as you're killing minions, right? Because you're a melee. You're in a disadvantageous position here. So to push, use your advantage. You gotta use it. Kha'Zix, you could freeze this wave, or you could run up here. Like Kha'Zix freeze the wave. When I say freeze the wave, is balance the minions. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of yours, 1, 2, 3, 4 of theirs. But if as long as you keep the minions balanced, right, the fight's always gonna be here. It's not gonna be out here because if you have a bigger wave, you'll kill these guys. These minions will kill these guys, and you'll have a couple, and you'll push the wave out before the next wave hits. Right? So your wave is here is mirrored by their wave. By the time your wave pushes out here, it might be further out. You might be less safe. You'd have to go past the river in order to get those minions, right? Well, right now it's unsafe for Annie to go past the river because there's two of you. So the way to push this advantage is you would manage the wave, keep it here, and let one of you guys stand out here. Anytime Annie comes close to try to get farm or harass you, second person would just go right on top of her and just start attacking her. Basically push her away from this farm so that if you can do it right, she'll be like a screen away from the experience. All this experience, the minions dying, no experience is going to her, while our experience here is split between you guys. So you're creating a level disparity and a gold disparity without even fighting. You're just zoning her. You're creating a zone of control that she has to respect. If she does not respect it, Kha'Zix's gonna jump on her. You can run up, exhaust her, and just kill her for free. But you guys don't do that. But just one thing to know, right? See, Kha'Zix realizes this. He realizes because Rengar's not in sight. Rengar might be here, but it's not a good, smart play for Rengar to be here because he's missing out on some experience, right? But he made a calculated risk here, and he went all in on her, and so he was right because Rengar was actually trailing behind. By the time he got back, it was enough time for him to back out. So this could be played both ways, right? So she's already low. He's already dropped a good rotation on her. If you think about it, if you guys go for an all-in fight, just from a mathematical standpoint, you guys will win this fight if you fight to the death, right? Each of you, one, you're both level 3, only Annie is level 3. So Rengar is level 2. Think of them as spells. This guy's a 2 speller, she's a 3 speller, and she already used one of her spells to protect herself. And you guys are 3 spellers, right? Math. 3 damaging spells focused on one person versus 5 damaging spells focused on one person, right? Even if you guys trade 1 for 1, you guys are at a level advantage. You guys have an extra bit of HP. You guys have extra spells, cooldowns, because your cooldowns are about to come up. And Rengar's late to fight. There's no way that they can win. So you could actually both keep fighting this and push them all the way back to the tower, put on some damage, and if they are not smart, if they engage in this fight, you would be punishing them from a knowledge standpoint. So it's knowledge application into a actual gameplay, physical fighting standpoint, right? So just here, this is an advantageous fight. Stay away from the bushes, but scrap and you guys will more than likely win. I don't remember what summoners they have, so another tipping scale would be the summoners, right? But you have both your summoners up. If you guys played it right, even if you guys all had your summoners and you guys all blew it at the same time, you guys would probably win. Unless you did some of that crazy shit you did last game where you exhausted them when you were like 1 hit from death, which when it didn't even matter anymore, right? So drop the exhaust, start fighting, you guys will win. There's no way they can win. There really isn't any way they can win. Unless you got jungle ganked. But if there's 2 here, 1 here, and there were 2 bot lane, there's no jungle. So you're going in on this. You're still going. Good. That's very good. Now, so when you see the minion wave coming up, that would be a good time to run back. Why? Because Annie did exactly what someone with someone with common sense would do. She stuns you so that the minions could catch up and do some damage. At this point, the longer this fight goes on, the more it tips in their favor. Okay, so you guys should be backing out. You guys should have actually backed out before Annie was able to land a stun. But see, as the fight goes on a little longer, look at how the health bars kind of even out. I mean, you guys kind of put them together and divide by 2, divide by 2. You guys are even now. A winning fight became a losing, even fight because of this overcommitment, as people would call it. Things to pay attention to. 1, 2, 5, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. You guys have the minion favor. So one thing you would do is actually run up here and burn. Hopefully Kha'Zix follows up with you, but you just kind of run up, try to burn as many people as you can, but burn up the minions. If they stay, and try to dick around, then you drop the exhaust and go all in, because then they would have no minions or a lot less minions, and you guys got 9 or so minions. Because even if they kill some of the minions, you guys have at least a lot of minions to follow up. That would be a winning fight right there too. So run up and burn. Nope, but you're okay. So Kha'Zix sees it. He realizes the advantageous position you guys are in. He fights. He fights his own minions. And Rengar drew aggro. You can already tell. Look at how all these minions turn, right? Here, let me see. Man, I wish I could turn back by a smaller factor. Can I? Repeat? Nope. Okay. So 733. Okay, so let's go back about 6 seconds. Okay, so Kha'Zix realizes this. He sees it. Just watch how all these minions are kind of split, right? Like this one's attacking Rengar, this one's attacking here. See, you can tell from their viewpoint where they're looking at, right? Just watch what happens when. So now they're focusing this guy, right? Just watch how these minions turn. Watch what Rengar does. I think he attacks. Look, I mean, look at. You can see Kha'Zix's health going down, right? So Rengar does an empowered auto attack, but it's still an auto attack nonetheless, right? Look at these minions, okay? Whoop. Did you see that? Did you see that turn? So now they're all firing towards Rengar now. Oh, look at all those projectiles following him. So that's when that's damage. That's damage. You don't see it now. Just think of it as hidden damage, but it hasn't been applied yet. Just watch his life bar right now, okay? Projectiles are still flying. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, it still drops, but so imagine if you had dropped the exhaust. Rengar at this level, same as you, has no flash. I think you gotta be level 10 to have flash. So imagine if he was just a little slower. If all these minions had gotten one more auto attack off, and you were able to catch up, and Kha'Zix was able to land one more melee, he would have been dead. See, look at that damage. So now there's no minions in sight. He's just being dumb. He's walking in range. He's taking a lot of free damage. Oh my god! Look at his life. Look at his life. He healed some back, probably because he used his W spell. But I mean, that should show you, right? So this is kind of risky here. I actually wasn't paying attention. I was tunneled here, kind of focusing, but people are pinging to be careful. Kha'Zix is pinging to be careful. I think his higher level of play is telling him that something is amiss because there's missing players on the map. He might not have been tracking it. I'm the same right now. Like whenever I push out this far, automatically I start wondering, am I in a risky position? Do a quick head count. 1, 2, 3, 4. If there was a fifth one here, this aggression here would have been great because you're pressuring them, you're making them lose farm. They are not getting minions for free. Okay? So you back out, you follow Kha'Zix. Cool. You guys are hiding. I wouldn't have hid back. I might have been up here because that way when the minions die, I want to get the experience. I want to receive it, right? Being this far out, I'm not sure, but I think you're not getting experience. You want to maximize everything. You want to be able to widen that level and experience discrepancy. Okay, so Kha'Zix notices Rengar has overstepped. He knows his damage output, it appears, and so he is just exerting his dominance here. There could be a bunch of different things, probably because he's a seasoned player. He knows that they won't respond well. Most of the time when this happens, new players will just run. They won't trade back damage. They won't throw spells back. They will just run for sheer panic, right? So that's free for him. Look at that. He's not doing anything. He's not throwing spells. He's not casting anything. He's not fighting back. Technically, you guys are in a They would be in a favorable position, right? But I think Kha'Zix knows the range, so despite that, No minions are really focused on him. And also remember, like I said, you gotta auto attack to draw aggro. Kha'Zix just jumped in there and he used his spells to do the damage. And fortunately you followed up too. Again, remember what I said about exhaust? This would be a secure right here. This would be a kill secure right here. Not a kill steal, a kill secure. If you had landed exhaust on Rengar. Right? Oh wow, you guys actually got it. So in that point, that I can't really fault you on. Well, actually I can because you used it late. But that after he's gotten here, it would have been a risk. It would have been a hard call to make because you don't know if Kha'Zix would be able to finish him off. Did he? I think he just had he flashed too. That was a flash, wasn't it? Okay, so I guess Rengar does have flash. I wasn't paying attention to the login screen. So Rengar does have flash. Despite that, though, he used his get out of jail free card incorrectly, right? Actually, that's debatable because if he had flashed here, you exhausted him, it would have probably played out but the same. So the smart way would have been just to run because he flashed but he didn't even survive. That was a wasted flash. If that were me, if I were to play it well by this point, I would have just bit the bullet and died and kept my flash because I know that later on I can use that flash to get out of the same sticky situation if I had, positioned better, or it would have helped me get a kill. And you take too much damage, right? Again, going back to that tower aggression, right? Let's go here. I think right? This is all due to not understanding your champion's kit and etc. So Rengar is gonna die. So notice how the minion wave balances out, right? So he notices there's a likelihood he's trying to get the wave to push back. So the tower is killing minions. There's an advantage for your wave for enemy's wave. It's gonna push back. And being experienced players, they will kill those minions and push the wave back out. Right? They're killing it. Now their wave is gonna be pushing out, or they actually reset the wave, right? Because now the waves will push back out. Okay. Moment Rengar oversteps, right? The moment he oversteps his safety zone, bam. We know what's gonna happen. Let's just watch the aggro, right? You're approaching that tower range, right? Even if you don't attack them, you're gonna take damage because there's minions. So you want to maximize this. You don't want to take too much extra damage here. So he's dead. You should be backing out right now. You should take at most just one shot, not two. So how many do you take? One. You attack, then you take two. Right? If you hadn't taken that damage, you guys would have been able to do a lot more. Push out the wave and, exert more dominance. You would have been in lane longer. You would have gotten a large EXP boost compared to Annie. Annie had to back. She just backed. Right? Now you have to back, right? But it's okay because, well, it's okay now. It could have been better, but it's okay because look at all this experience that Kha'Zix is getting. He is super, super strong now. Oh man. Okay. Hold on, I just got to text something here. Okay, so while I was texting, I kind of saw out of the corner of my eye. So this is a time where Kha'Zix, even as good of a as knowledgeable as a player as he is, he kind of oversteps his boundaries because he overstayed, and he's getting punished right now. I think it's fine because he's gonna back anyways, but it's still time wasted. There's two people, despite the fact that you guys just raped them both, right? It's still a mismatched fight. So he's got two people on him. and he has to run back, right? He can take either of them one on one, even, and they're still minions too. He could, a well played Kha'Zix could still fight in here, but it's just not advantageous. He has to respect this, and so it just helps you realize how important it is to be a little more mindful about how you play it, right? So she could have stunned him. I don't know if she had flash. She could have went on him earlier before he saw Rengar coming in. This was a bad coordination by them, but that should have been a free kill. I don't know if Kha'Zix has a flash or not. See that stun right there? If it was further up here, that might have translated into a kill. Him just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing there. If it was him or it was just a graphical thing. See, Kha'Zix should be back in here, because the wave was already pushing back, right? Before you guys even touched the wave, there was more minions. So it was a good position for Kha'Zix to back, because he would know that you wouldn't have to go out here and farm, right? Because when you are out here and farming, there's two people that could kill you, and he would be in base. You would be at a disadvantage. He would be setting you up for failure. But if you had backed earlier, you guys not touched the wave would have killed off yours quicker and pushed a little safer. And so you could stay in distance. You might not be able to get the farm. You might be able to get it with your E spell, right? But you were in a safe position to make the best out of it. So by the time Kha'Zix comes back, you guys just got to kill. He would have an extra long sword. That's more dominance to exert. At this point, there's not much of a disparity, because he has gold, right? But he's not actually stronger until he buys that item, right? You guys have a little advantage in levels, right? About 2 levels advantage, 5, right? But it could be a far more dominant matchup if Kha'Zix had bought earlier, right? So it's it's a lead that could have existed, but there's no real lead right now, right? He hasn't bought anything. It's a mental lead, pseudo dominance. So the wave is bigger. There's a potential, I think, right? There's 8 to 7. If they push out this wave, there's a potential for them to actually return kill you guys right here if they play it well and you guys misplay it, which is very possible because you're a new player, you're brand new, you're both melee. It's very possible that you could misplay and give up that lead and actually balance things out. This would be a good time for them to fight. See, look how aggressive they are getting. Kha'Zix goes in. You guys, they should have kept fighting in here, but well, maybe not, because if you guys don't use spells, right? If you guys don't use auto attacks, right? It could still work out well for you guys, but you guys are just exerting your lane dominance, and they don't know how to cope with it. Look at that. Good, you took your Q. I think you should have taken your Q earlier. This Annie does not realize how. So she doesn't know how to cope with it, right? She is melee. I'm sorry, you are melee. You're kind of tanky now. Well, you're innately tanky, but the items that you have is itemized toward Rengar, not her. That's armor. That's not magic resist. I think I would have actually statted against Annie, because I think she's more of a threat right now. She's more of a nuisance. But you're pushing out the wave. If I was Andy, I would let you push out the wave, or just kind of kill them, try to prevent them from hitting the tower and still get the farm. But I would position a little safer for her. If I was Andy, I would position a little safer. So you should be backing right now, because again, this is a pseudo lead, right? You've got gold. This could be an extra long sword and a pair of boots. This could be a one of the first item recipes. I forgot what it was called, but it would be one of the magic resist items, right? Because then you now have resistance stats against her. But right now there's no real lead because you haven't bought the item yet. So there's a potential for her to actually kill you. So quick head count, right? You're pushing up this far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not sure why, just 2 here, but whatever the case, there's 4. Rengar just died. Early game death, short death timers, right? But think about it. Kazakh's just backed and he's gotten this far out. You should be wondering where Rengar is if you're mirroring him, right? Because technically he backed a little earlier. He had a death timer. He should either be up here. He's probably somewhere around this area. And if you're playing smart, being a little paranoid, I would give him a little more, and I would assume that he's somewhere around here. So he definitely has the potential. So if he's out here, then Annie right now stuns you, right? If he stuns you right now and you both go all out, everything is in their favor because you might not know why she stuns you, and you commit to a fight. That's just more time for him to loop from here around and route you, right? I hope you're seeing this mouse here, right around here. So if he was right here, if she stuns you, you are a dead girl walking, right? There's no way for you to get out. Might be able to teleport out. I'm not sure. I don't think they'd be able to coordinate that well. So you might have, maybe. But you basically, in all other case scenarios, you're a dead man, dead girl walking. But they don't coordinate this part well, right? So what's she doing? She's just mailing you. She stuns you. I think Rengar was not actually in position to make anything out of it, right? So here she is. She's still setting up. She's still doing her thing, right? Now she goes. Now you need to wonder why, right? No one's appeared yet, but why would she run past her zone of safety? You're level 6. You have an ultimate. You can jump on her, right? Why would she do this? It just makes no sense. Wait. Why would she go aggressive? So you really need to wonder that. Okay. What is she doing? And so you use your ultimate. That's like your gap closer or your escape as well, right? So what's going on? Okay, you're pushing this out. You notice that she's backing. Okay, it's whatever. Wait, but she cancels her back, and now there's Rengar. So while things didn't turn out exactly the way I had said, right? With the people coming in and routing you, it eventually ended up that way, right? My suspicions were confirmed. They didn't coordinate very well, and you messed up too doing this, and now you are screwed. Well, you should be screwed, but this is a miscommunication on their part. They didn't plan it well, right? If they had planned it a little better, you would have definitely been dead. There's no way, no case scenario where you would get a kill on them. There's a very low liability on their end, right? So you lose your ult. Now you got it back. Don't even have enough to complete your second part of the item, and you bought 2 health. Did you? What are you doing? I think you're kind of lost into what to buy. And here's another thing too. You want to be able to back and be, as soon as you run back, unless you're super low, you need to be running back the moment you hit the respawn and try to buy items. That's just a small thing, but as you get better, those things will matter. The 1 to 2 seconds getting out of here will make a big difference going back there, right? You do have teleport, but just nitpicking, right? So okay, you buy boots. Okay, fight breaking out. Maybe that 1 to 2 seconds that you were buying, or however long you took, that was like 5-10 seconds, right? If you had bought earlier, you could be looking up here for teleport play. I think Kha'Zix went for a fight. He's half HP. Maybe if you had teleported in, there could have been a potential for you to get a kill. Oh, even going back further, right? Look, you have 2 wards. You could have dropped a ward back here before you backed, because that's where you ultimately backed, right? You could have did exactly the same thing that Kha'Zix would have wanted to do earlier, right? Okay, so you back behind the tower. When you were running back, you could have dropped a ward in that bush before you backed, and you guys would have gotten a kill for free, right? Would have gotten a kill for free. Alright, whatever. Okay, that's not good. Okay, so this video is going a little longer than I intended, but I might just skip out some parts, okay? So a lot of this is early game focused, but I kind of wanted to actually go through this whole video because you guys actually make a good fight. Kazakhs actually disconnect. So again, respect, right? And he's alone. We don't know where Rengar is, but it seems like Kazakhs realizes that Annie is alone, and he's exerting his dominance, making them pay for backing incorrectly or right, establishing a dominance. Okay, so this was a good ult by Annie. Almost kills both of you. Rengar doesn't have ult, unfortunately for them, so he can't follow up. But this was an overcommittance by you, right? I would have just gotten the fuck out of there. You had your gap closer, but you decided not to. Use it to escape, and instead you got greedy. I think you might have enough to buy a complete a piece too. Oh, guess not. So that was a big old waste, right? You just ran back to lane. Uh, you didn't get any new items out of it, right? This might have been a good time to teleport again if you had dropped another ward, right? Because they just used all their ultimates and or well, Annie used her ultimate, and so again, foresight. You gotta look to plan ahead too. Right? She's backing. Okay, he's stopping her back, and he goes in on her, and that's unfortunate. Okay, skip, skip, skip. I think this is where Kha'Zix disconnects, isn't it? Rengar tries to fight you. This is a easy winning fight for you. There's no way he could win, right? Just kidding, there is. But I mean, he's item wise and just the way it is in a 1v1 matchup, Rengar's not in the position to be able to kill you. As you overcommitting, not respecting that the possibility there's two people, right? Rengar ultimates to try to get you, but he's not gonna catch up. He should have ulted earlier. The moment Annie showed up, he should have ulted. So yeah, this is where Kha'Zix has disconnected. So now you guys are gonna be fighting a 4v5. This is where it gets interesting because now I can actually highlight some of the things that you're doing right. So one thing that you're doing right is you're statting tanky. Um, your team does not have a front line, does not have a tank. Malphite could be that tank, but when you're looking to carry a game yourself, you need to fill the voids, right? So you're gonna be the tank on the team. Malphite, I'm not sure he's statting to be tanky, but now you're a threat. You're that one person who is very hard for them to kill, and you can kind of run rampant with them. This is an instance where if you had not built correctly, there was a high chance that the enemy team could make a comeback. Because if you were very squishy, easy to kill, and you could drop a good ultimate AoE ult that lands on everyone, right, and route the whole team herself single-handedly. Whereas now that you're building tanky, you're that one person they can't deal with. If they land a suboptimal ult, even if they catch you in it, you're still alive. You're still disrupting their lines and just being a huge nuisance. So you're far more useful to your team as a tank right now, and it's very low risk, right? Very low risk because it's simple, just to run up, soak damage, and just wail on people until they die. Fast forward here. Okay, so you overextend. I don't think I'm gonna go back to look at that because this video is actually kind of long already. Uh, but you know, it's just the same shit over again, right? Not respecting. Okay, so we're looking at teleports right here. So the tower is basically gone at this point. I personally would not have teleported in. It was only because they're bad. Well, hold on, let's see. Let's see, is it? Yeah, it's only because they're bad that they didn't finish off the tower. But there's a very real potential that they could have killed the tower before you finish your teleport. Even if they didn't, they could finish off the tower before they can all in on you, right? And it's two players versus one, right? Even though they are low, they could have finished it. And you're level 7. They are 2 levels above you. 2 levels. So this is very, very bad for you. 1805, 1801. Okay. So just confirm that. Yep, 2 levels. You know, they're not both level 9, but Annie is 2 levels above you, and Rengar is basically you. You versus you plus a level 9, right? So, muy mal. I don't know. Fuck. I tried to speak Spanish, but I can't even. This is not bueno for you. This is not bueno. This is very bad for you. So, you're only able to get away from it because they were bad players, not because you made a good decision, right? So, okay. Push out, blah, blah, blah. There's things happening around the map. You guys are at a disadvantage now, right? So again, you need to respect, right? You don't know where Rengar is. Okay, right? So now you know. So you were very lucky you got out alive here. But you did, you got out. Your tower's gone. So, ah man, I guess I will have to go back. So when your tower is that low at that point, you at higher level play, you need to consider the fact that when people go missing, there's a very real chance that they could come and finish off your tower and finish you off. So it might actually be best to give up that tower and run somewhere else to make a play. Maybe run mid group with your teammates, let them take the tower that's basically theirs anyways, or maybe have your team come up and coordinate this. Or there's dragon, right? There's so many other things you could do than to run up there and meet the inevitable loss of your tower. Like what could you possibly do to just like stand there and watch your team take it, right? So that's just one thing that you can consider later on when when you've seen this enough, you should be able to realize these things. So, you go up there and you ultimately get pushed back anyways because you failed to respect it. And I think you may actually die. Yeah, you do. So you escaped, but that escape was worthless, right? Because you went back and died. That was. I'm sorry, Sea Dog, but that was just stupid. That moment of silence, that was on purpose. I hope you feel kind of stupid for that. So you might even lose this tower. So remember what I said? Remember what I said about how there's a very real fact when there's people missing that they could be coming out to deal with you. Look, lo and behold, Lux was here. Even if you had magically somehow played that very well, you would have ended up against 3 people, right? And that's simply just from looking at a head count, right? Because look at where Lux came from. She came from behind. She had time to go all the way around. So if you had even like stuck around here, maybe even like back here, you probably would have died. You probably would have died. So yeah, I say so yeah a lot. Let's try to change that. I hope you can see where a little bit of foresight will save you a whole lot of deaths. You are at 4 deaths right now, and 3 of those were from disrespecting your enemy, not from team fights, but not being mindful. You can kind of see this when we play Call of Duty, right? The the good players seem to be at the right place at the right moment. At you're at the wrong places at the worst times, and that's because of map awareness. People are used to looking at the map. People missing, you should be concerned. You should be concerned. They might be doing dragon, they might be doing baron, they might be here. They might be running through your jungle. This is, and you have words that you're not using. Oakley dokley. Alright, remember you're tanky. Maintaining map awareness. You see something going on here. You see Lysandra. Rengar's missing. You should be letting your team know. You guys got a kill. So now it's a 4. On the map, there's 4 versus 4 possible. Because we got 1, right? Sorry. Doing math, right? Doing math. You're maximizing your farm. This is good. This is good. You're not. I don't know if you actually planned for this, but this is good because inadvertently you're going to safer, better route. You're taking. It might be bad because you're denying Lux a blue buff. She would be able to do a lot more than you, arguably, with that blue buff. But you are maximizing what you can get safely. You're not pushing all the way out here and risking death because there's 4 people that could possibly be getting ready to jump you. And the wave is actually pushing back, so you know the wave is going to be coming back. So now head count. There's 3 people you know where they are. 1's dead, 2 out here. So here's something you need to notice. Malphite looks like he's possibly trying to make a play. Rengar is definitely overextending. Lux is not making any movements here, so you need to consider the possibility that you might be able to make a play on him. You're out here, rather than taking this, I might like ward over the wall, or I might ward this bush over here, just to get vision to know that you guys are making a safe play. But so you were running around to cut him off, and hey, boom. So 1, 2, 3, another person showed up. 4. The possibility that a 5th person shows up around here to fight still swings well for you guys because both of you are generally tanky. You are tanky. You are tanky. Even if this fight doesn't go well, you can get out. You should be confident that you can get out. And Rengar or Malphite here, he's innately tanky. But anyways, there's a very low liability for you. Oh hey, look, there's Annie. You could if you have spec for some magic resistance, you could probably actually jump right on Annie. But remember, she is strong. She's a level higher than you. This would have been a time to back the fuck out. Because you are way overextended now, right? Because there's a Lux. What was it? Lysandra, right? Lux and Lysandra. If they start running here, the only way you would have been able to get out was ult over this wall, but Rengar would be able to kind of cut you off or stall you, right? And Annie's jumping on you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 people who could possibly get to you before you can run all the way back here, right? You're definitely going to be taking some damage. I think the safer route would possibly be to jump over this wall to fight Rengar while Malphite jumps on him, and then you guys can kind of like kite backwards. Well, let's see what happens. So you go right on Annie. Unfortunately, Annie's not paying attention. She's tunneling. You can tell she's looking on the map at this guy. She's not looking at her own surroundings. I would have dropped an exhaust. This is the best time to drop an exhaust and get the fuck out, or you could still commit to this. I mean, at this point you're committed. But when you drop the exhaust, that 184 damage would have been 92 instead. Or, well, a little more than that because it's not 50%, right? And look at all the extra damage that you're taking from all the rest of the spell she's doing, and then now her bear is wailing damage on you. And this is all within a second, 1 second. And remember, the exhaust lasts for 2.5 seconds. You would have taken half, about half of all that damage instead. And then now Rengar's claps on you. Okay, Malphite goes for the all, and now you exhaust her. It's pointless, right? It's pointless because her spells are on cooldown already, right? She just used it. We'll say she has about a 3-4 second timer before her Q comes back up, but all her other spells have a longer cooldown. So when you exhaust her, you're only limiting her auto attack damage, which is like nothing. I would have just held your exhaust, either exhaust him or would have held it for when her spells are back up, right? So it's just inefficient use of your exhaust. She already dropped her rotation. She's on cooldowns already, and now you exhaust her, which is useless. Anyways, you're still fighting. Do you guys get her? And you do. Your guys' tankiness gets her. Nice. Okay. That's why Shyvana OP. But anyways, still fighting. You're fighting in the bear. You're getting exhausted. You are running. You are basically dead. I would just kept fighting. You actually almost make it out, but Lux catches you out. Cool. Well, not cool, but yeah. So look at all these people who are collapsing now that you didn't think you. It's like, how did all these people get here all of a sudden, right? Right. So from here, right? All these. Remember the head count I was telling you about? Look at all these people that ended up getting here. That you have. I mean, you had a ward here, but look at all these things that you weren't able to account for, but yet people were still able to show up. The whole team is here. The whole team is here now. Well, okay, not Lysandra. When she was here, might have been better for her to go here, but either way, the potential was there, right? Cool. All right, you're still specking tanky, good. Let's skip forward even more. You're taking a while to buy. Things are happening. Look at all the map rotations. You're pushing. You can see things are happening here, so you can probably get this tower. Remember, there's very low risk for you. Just unless a bunch of people come after you, they're not gonna be able to kill you because you have a great way to escape. Now your team can push out, maybe get dragon, which they don't. But you see Lux here. You know Annie's dead, so there's two people you can account for. There's possibly more people coming at you, but see a lot of people missing. That is okay. Rengar's here. Lux is still middle, so you know you can still kind of possibly dick around. Oh, now two people, and Annie's dead, right? So now you have a possibility of two people on you right now. Math, right? You're pushing your lane dominance. Look at you. You're tanky. Rengar can't deal with you, and you know that there were people here. So now you're backing up a little because you realize. And look at that. Look at that. I even told you. I told you to back up ward, and lo and behold, Lux is here. She can't kill you. There's no way she can kill you. Even if she lands a full combo, snare, whatever. You can still ult out to get out. This is bad for her because she's way overextending. Right? So she overextends. So let me tell you what you did well without actually thinking about it, right? What you did well was you distracted and you drew attention and someone tunneled on you. That is your job in a team fight, right? Because you can take this damage, you can soak it. And because of this, Lux misplays, and she gets herself killed. She's a carry. This would be good. This would be good. Now, if it happened in a team fight, right? This would be very good. Not only, and they're super squishy. You're tanky, right? You got an assist from that. You're getting money. This you should back. There's nothing you can do about it. Because let's go back here. Imagine if you had backed, right? So boom, she is dead. Bam. As soon as you get out of safety, get right behind the tower or somewhere. You don't know where Jinx, Jinx can still ult you, right? Shoot a rocket at you. So you might want to plan your back. But as soon as this happens, you want to back. Why? Because as soon as you get back, you can complete an item or buy another item, probably Mercury Dreads, whatever. Just do something. You're healing back, and look at these minions, right? And you got teleport up. You have the potential to teleport behind them and rejoin the fight almost instantly, probably about in 10 seconds, right? In about 10 seconds, you could rejoin the fight if you had just started backing. Another thing to pay attention to, you got your teammates rotating, right? You know that enemy team, one of them is right here. You could actually back and maybe start running mid, because by the time you're done backing, this fight might be over already, right? Start pushing out mid. If in fact the fight turns out bad, you can go back here and deal with it, or you can just keep pushing out mid, right? Because you're okay, right? Whatever. We're kind of thinking too far into this, but oh, remember what I said about backing, right? Jinx has a rocket. You just got killed. That's why you don't always want to tunnel zone in on your champion all the time. You want to be watching what's going on elsewhere on the map. If you had just had your cursor up a little further, you might have been able to dodge a missile. Okay. Skippity skip. What's going on? Alright, enemy team doesn't do anything. They don't get a tower out of it. They don't get Baron. You're going back to split pushing. Remember, you guys are at a disadvantage here, right? Map rotations won't be more enemy because your enemy team is not allocating their resources correctly, right? They're sending 3 people here just to stop a wave, and it's a tier 1 turret. It's not that big of a deal anymore. If they had all grouped up somewhere, maybe like routed all of your teammates here, just push down here, they can win the game. One person, you, will not be able to push through all this before 4 or 5 people can. This is why the game is winnable, because simply from a knowledge standpoint, this is why the game is winnable, because the enemy team does not know how to close out the game. So, and you need to know how to abuse that. Okay, so you get, you die to 2 people, and this was bad because your team wasn't in position to make anything out of it anyways. You basically died for nothing. It would be a different story if your team is here or here pushing down a turret. Okay, so they misplayed there, they die. And you guys can still win the game. Look at that. You guys have 27 kills over 22. That may not necessarily mean a whole lot because it's just kills, but you can gauge from that your team has more. In this context, your team knows better what to do, how to end or win the game. Okay, I actually have to leave soon, so I'm gonna fast forward all this. Your team's pushing down mid, right? You're still split pushing. You still haven't gotten a tier 1 tower too, and it's pretty far into the game. It's like almost 30 minutes into the game, like 25 minutes into the game. Alright, you might get this tower. Cool. You guys do get the tower. See, the enemy team is just really misplaying. They are, and look at that. You guys get all these. This is catalyzing your guys' win. You guys actually make a comeback because you guys are grouping up before they could, right? There's 2 people pushing versus 4. Okay, 3 people. Okay, you guys are still pushing. You teleport back to stop them, but look at this. You just got 3 towers. They got maybe 2, right? And inhib. And this is good for you guys because you guys got a bunch of gold and they have no tank. They don't have a tank. Look at that. You guys, you can literally just do whatever you want. In a team fight, you guys have advantage in the sense that you guys have a tank, right? They don't. You guys have an initiator too. Anyways, let's skip forward again. Sorry, like I said, I gotta go, so I gotta rush through this. But this is you guys exerting intelligence to win the game. You guys are at a disadvantage, but look at that. You guys are taking objectives, pushing down. This is how you end games. You take objectives and abuse enemy improper rotation, right? So you guys got a lane pushing because you guys got super minions pushing down. You guys can go and exert pressure elsewhere. Okay, they're still getting caught out. They are throwing the game. They weren't winning in the game, but whatever. Push, push, push. Get caught out. Okay, look at that. You guys are making your way towards towers. I hope you are. Right? You guys are team fighting. You can just do whatever you want as a tank. And you guys are, you guys just want a team fight. So why not just go back through the lane that is most exposed, right? So you guys, the inhibitor came back up. You guys reestablished. You guys should have done more with it, but at this point, you guys were able to get it back, right? Get it back. Okay. This might be a good time. Okay, yeah, you are TPing it. She's getting caught out. You guys could end the game off this last push. Draven's got in our tower. Look at you. You are so tanky because the enemy team did not know how to close it that you can just do whatever you want now. There's no way they could just finish you guys. There's no way they could just burst you down. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all the tension you are garnering, and look at all the stuff you can do. Unfortunately, you misplay and you die, but your teammates are still taking objectives. Look at that. Granted, he's doing it alone, but you guys are closer to winning the game than your enemy team is. Right? Push, push, push. This is how you guys are going to win a 4v5 because they are just playing incorrectly. See, you guys are getting free objectives, getting dragons. They can't deal with you, right? Because of the consequences of their earlier bad decision making. You guys are just eating away their towers. Lanes are pushing. You guys get another tower. At this point, the game should be over. Right? What happened? Okay. Draven's dead. So it's a 4v3, right? But your Lux is carrying. She is. And you guys are tanking enough to protect her. So I think the game is over at this point. Should be. Look at how little damage you could do. And look at you could just mess around. Not really. And you got your Warmogs too, right? I think you got your Warmogs. You can just step back, wait out the cooldown. You should, and you can heal all the way up to full damage again. And this is game. This is GG. Yeah, focus on taking the tower. Good. You're focusing on the right objectives. You're not focused tunneling on kills. Nice. I think you guys have the game down. You guys won. Look at all the life that you healed back up just from your Warmogs, right? GG. Good job. I hope you can take away a lot from this. I know I skipped over a lot. If you want, I can go back through and watch some of the more of the mid to late game. But this is all, this is all decision making at the end of the game that got you guys a win. Okay. Great job. All right. I hope this helped. If you would like to see more stuff on the late game or something else, just let me know. All right.